Welcome to Integration by Parts. Now, integration by parts is an area of calculus that is concerned with how do you integrate the product of two functions. The first thing you need to know is the formula. I've just put this up on the screen for you. Now, the great thing is you do not have to remember this, it is given to you. You'll notice at the start there is u times dv by dx. Now, obviously when you multiply something you don't have to decide which way. It doesn't matter. However, one way will make it easy, one way will make it hard. So the hard thing to start with is which one is u and which one is dv by dx. Luckily, there's a little trick. Now, I've just put up on the screen LIATE. This is the way that we use to remember which one we use for u. So L is logarithmic, then inverse trig, algebraic, trigonometric, and exponential. Think of this as an order in which you pick u. So to give you an example, if we had the function x sine x, x is obviously algebraic and sine x is trigonometric. So as a comes before t, we use x for u and sine x for dv by dx. If I gave you another function though, we've got here x, which is algebraic, and log x, which is logarithmic, and L comes before a, so this time we'd do it the other way around. U would be log x, and x would be dv by dx. Now, let's have a go at a couple of examples. So, here we've got a function. The integral between 0 and pi of 5x plus 3 times cos 5x. So, as I previously mentioned, the first thing we've got to do is say which one's u and which one's dv by dx. Now, what I like to do is I like to put this little box up. It's very useful if you're starting out to just give you a little order of how to do it. So, in our function we've got 5x plus 3, algebraic, cos 5x, trig. So, as algebra comes before trig, u is 5x plus 3 and dv by dx is cos 5x. We can then differentiate u and we can integrate dv by dx. And then we're just going to plug them into our formula. So, if we look at that, we've got uv minus the integral of v du by dx. If I look at this, the first thing I can do, I can't do anything with the first part, so I'm just going to leave it. Now the integral, we've got a fifth and we've got a 5, we can cancel. Makes my life a bit easier. All I've got to do now is I've got to integrate sine 5x. You should remember that the integral of sine 5x is minus 1/5 cos 5x. Now if I plug that in, I get this. It looks complicated, it doesn't matter. It's a limits question, we're going to put some numbers in. So, we're going to apply our first limit, which is pi. Now if I do that, I can calculate this all out. You'll notice that things, especially when you're dealing with pi, they will cancel out. This leaves us just with minus 1/5. If we do the same with 0, it also gives me minus 1/5. If I then do the top limit take away the bottom limit, gives me my answer as minus 2/5. It does look complicated, it's actually quite straightforward, it's quite logical. Just follow through that method. Let's look at another one. This time, it's not quite so simple. We've got x squared e to the power of x. So, as we've got x squared, we've got an algebraic, we've got e, we've got exponential, so therefore we're going to use x squared as u, and e to the power of x as dv by dx. And as we did before, we can work out du by dx and v from those. We're going to plug those into our formula. Now you'll notice we've now got minus the integral of ex 2 to the x. We've got another product. Now if you ever get this situation, all you've got to do is put it back into the integration by parts. So let's look at that bit, that second integral. E to the power of x, 2x. Now if I look at this, I've got an exponential and algebraic, so again we're going to use the algebraic term as u. If I take this, plug it straight into my formula, I get this. I get 2x e to the x minus the integral of 2e to the x. Now in that integral, we've got a constant of 2. We can take that out. The integral of e to the x is, as we all know, just e to the x. So, that will give me this. It'll give me 2x e to the x minus 2e to the x plus c. Don't forget your constant, we haven't got limits. So, we are now going to combine those two functions. So we've got the first one, the x squared e to the x minus the second function, which will give us this. Now, If all we've got to do to finish up is we've got to expand that out. When we do this, we've got to make notice a couple of things. We've got a minus and a minus, make sure you get the plus. But we've also got the minus times a c, and it's still positive c. The key thing to remember here is it is just a constant. It doesn't matter if it's positive, negative. Always put plus c. That being said, if you put minus c, you would still get the answer right.